working in now. And what I like the most, friends, about a junk journal is you can use absolutely anything in your junk journals. This is just a page from a dictionary, and I ripped it, and because I was using it like for other, like just like little pieces of it in other parts of my journal, and then I'm like, oh, this would look really cool in my journals. So I don't waste my things. I like to use tracing paper in my junk journals. It's a lot like vellum, and I like that. I like to use different sizes. I mean, there's all different sizes here, right? So fun. This journal is not finished, by the way. This is just something I'm working on. I like to use tabs in my journals, and I write on them. Normally, you can also stitch on them, so I'm working on that. I like to use old magazines. So this is a magazine page from a Stampington magazine, and then I just I left the background, but then I just added my own stuff to it. This is just a magazine page. I like to use fabric in my junk journals. I make these little fabric tags. This is something I'm doing for the 100 days project. I'm going to be making 100 of these fabric kind of things to put in my junk journals. It's fun to use tip-ins in your journals and handwriting. I've been practicing that, which I'm really loving right now. But there's just all these fun ways. It's really fun to use craft paper in your journal. It makes it look really worn and used. Tags. This is a great place to put your tags. This is a Marilyn Monroe tag I had made. Didn't know what to do with it, and I'm like, this is going to look so cool in my journal. I like to use a lot of staples in my journal to add things like my fabric. I like to do little fun things like that you can peek inside. Peek. I like that. This is one of those Tim Holtz paper doll deals. This is a page from a Stampington magazine, and I really just love the look of all the graphics, the font of that, and then I just added some of my own bits and pieces of collage fodder that I had made, and then just a beautiful flower. And here's an example. I just put grow on that tab. These are from the Dollar Tree. It's fun to put those. Another piece of tracing paper. So see, what is so cool about making your own junk journal, friends, is that you can add all of these really cool pages. Pages that you don't get in a journal that's just a bunch of plain white sheets, right? You can add whatever you want, whatever kind of textures you want. Adding these craft elements makes everything so chunky. This is a tag I had made a few years ago, and then this is one of those little sewing tags. I love these. These were inspired by an artist that I need to share with you because she is an amazing artist, and I need to put her link in there too. Once again, just a work in progress and not finished. And that's okay, because this is where I turn to. Sometimes you know how you just want to create, and but also kind of maybe you just want to watch something to be kind of mindless. Maybe you've had just a busy day and you're just tired and you want to use your hands to kind of wind down. That's how I am. But you also maybe want to watch an episode of Frasier, like me. Frasier's my favorite go-to art journaling show. So what I'll do is I'll grab this journal out, or sometimes I'll grab one of the other ones I showed you that's not finished yet, and maybe I'll be like, I'm just going to add a few marks. So I'll just take my Posca paint pen and I'll start adding marks. Or I'll grab all of my collage fodder and just start ripping and tearing and adding collage bits. Sometimes I have a basket here of, this is for my junk journals, and I've created a few little montagey things, like little snippets to put in. But this is a whole big, giant basket of just really cool images that I can really quick put in my journals. Okay, and so this is a whole nother, I think this is a whole nother video that I need to do to kind of show you what I put in here, but I will just grab this, and instead of thinking, oh, I have to create a whole page, I will just grab that basket and just start putting images down. I'll just start randomly going through, and this has just really been wonderful. Last night, I needed some downtime, and so I just took my Posca paint pens and my Sharpie pens, and I just went, you know, I'm just going to start making some quotes in my journal, and I'm really into handwriting right now. And so I did this one, and then I just kind of went through backwards, and I was like, should I add some more? And I added this. So this, you know, so I can remember this page in particular. The first thing I added to this page was this butterfly. And then at another session, I was doing images, and I added that image. And then last night, I added bloom, and then I added that. So this is always a work in progress, and this is what I love. Let me show you the kinds of papers that you can add. But first, decide on how big you want it. And then you can go through and you can add notebook paper. This is just a random piece of scrap paper. Old book. You can use old book pages. Graph paper is really fun to use. It's fun to paint on this paper to make collage fodder type elements in your book. You can buy this at the Dollar Tree, super cheap. This is a magazine image that someone sent me that I love. It's also a thicker weight, so you could actually use this for the cover if you wanted as well. This is just a piece of pattern paper. This is that tracing paper I told you about. I love adding tracing paper to my journals. More of, this is from a magazine, the Ideals magazine book. So it's a fun image, cool writing on the back. You can use doilies in your books as pages, and those are always fun to use. I have two different sizes here. This is from an old planner. Thought it might be kind of fun with some of these images. Also, I like to paint over things, guys, too. So I'll put pages in my book, and then I'll think I might use that image, and I don't. This is a Flow magazine coloring book, when the coloring books were all the rage, remember? And I had colored this, and I really like this quote. I think this is a fun image, and I don't know. I may use it in my book. I haven't decided. But you could definitely use an old coloring if you have old coloring books around. You could even put ones in your book that weren't colored, and you could just leave them and color them and as something in your book. I always like to use black because I love to use metallic Sharpies and Posca paint pens on black. This is a jelly print someone gifted me. And then I'm really into these shiny papers from Michaels right now. They were on sale, and I bought pink and the gold, so I definitely want to add that. And then this is just kind of a nice vintage feeling paper that I'm going to use. You can use anything in your junk journal, guys. I highly recommend your magazine pages. Use those in your junk journals. The one thing I love about junk journals that I want to get across is you don't have to buy anything. I guarantee you that you have so many papers right now laying around your studio or in your, bins that you have at your kitchen table, whatever. I bet you have so much paper. You have junk mail that comes in. You can use that. You can use envelopes in these junk journals. You can use anything in junk journals. You do not have to buy anything. And that's what's so great too. Okay, before we go any further, I do want to share with you something I did invest in. Last year, when I decided that I was just going to start making all my own journals because I saw everyone else doing them and I absolutely love them, I kind of became frustrated because I didn't have like the heavier wax thread. I didn't have I didn't have the bookbinding tools that I needed. And I was like, okay, I need a bookbinding kit. So I highly recommend that you don't have to buy this. You don't have to buy it. I want to stress that. You can still make a junk journal without buying this kit. But this kit is only about, I want to say I paid $16 for this kit on Amazon, and I use it all the time because there's so many cool tools in here. You will need like an awl, or something like an awl. It will pierce your pages so you can make holes so you can make the stitch. If you don't have an awl, an ice pick or something like that does work, but it's just nice to have this awl in this little case. Also, this has a bone folder, which is nice. You don't always need a bone folder to fold over these pages, but sometimes you may have something thick, like you might want to use watercolor paper or something, or like this shiny paper is probably going to need a bone folder. So it's just nice to have, and you'll use it in other things. This kit also has this nice heavy waxy thread that you're going to want to use to make your own journals, and there's lots of different colors. It also has needles in it. It has a lot of other things that I've never even used. I need to actually go through because I've never used. Oh, it has like binder clips, and I do use binder clips too for different things. So, and I'll show you that too. But this was worth it, and then it's all in this little nice carrying pouch, and I just keep everything in here and keep it in one of those rolling carts from Michael's. And so anyway, highly recommend this, guys. Oh, and I highly recommend a pin cushion. Okay. On a pretty thin junk journal just to show you how to put one together and sew the signatures. So I wanted to make that clear. Okay, so let's start. We can just kind of start getting our papers together. And I think I am going to start by maybe with this one, kind of as my first one. And then you would just kind of randomly start picking different pages to go. And you would just put those together. And I like to mix it up, you know, kind of want to use maybe different sizes, different thicknesses. I think I'll find this doily. See how that looks in there? It's so cool. And then I think I'll use this and book paper. And more than likely I'll end up gessoing over this anyway, so it won't matter. But like that one, I'm gonna use the black. It's fun. I think I'll use the tracing paper over that black. Get my coloring book page in there. Actually, this is going to be thicker than I was expecting. And then I think I'll do that. All right. So, kind of want to see. I honestly think I'm going to cut this down. I think I'm actually going to rip it. I don't like it necessarily that big. So, and I'll put that, oh, much better, I think. And then I'm thinking, because this is pretty heavy duty, that I might use this as my cover. I was going to use that gold piece, remember, but I'm thinking I might use this as my cover. Yes, I love that. Yep, I'm going to use this as my cover. So this is sticking out. I'm not really liking that. So I think I'm going to take and rip that. I don't know that I like that ripped like that. But I do know that I like the rip, so I'm going to keep ripping, okay? And then I'm going to take my book and see what I think. I think I'm going to take and maybe put it here, put that there. And I don't know that I like the coloring book page. I don't think I do. So I'm going to take that coloring book page out. And I think I still want to add this paper here. So I'm going to cut some of this paper down, this gold paper, and I'm going to fold it over. It's pretty heavy duty, so it's going to need that bone folder. And then I think I'll put that there. Oh yeah, I like that, because then there'll be craft paper there too, which I like. All right, so I think I have my book. So now, let me show you here. We're just going to make sure that all those creases that you made are in the center. And they are, I think. You kind of fold it over and see. Okay, yep, they are. Kind of tap it down. Now, here is where those clips come in. The binder clips come in. So you can get these at Walmart. These particular ones I have here are from Ranger Ink. A few binder clips also come with the pack I showed you. But then you're going to bind. So this is going to be a little bit shorter, so it's not quite going to fit on that binder clip, but that's okay. And you always want to put a binder clip on the bottom. And you can also put one here on the top. Okay. Make sure those creases are in the center. Yep, they are. And then you're going to put a binder clip on the top. Okay, there we go. We are going to be ready to stitch. I have decided, just because this is being ornery and it's not actually in one of these binder clips, I don't want to deal with that while I'm filming, because it'll just make it frustrating. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this out. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm probably going to use it in a smaller journal. So I'm okay with not using that. What you're going to need is an awl. So either an awl, or if you have an ice pick. The thing is, it has to have that nice sharp pointy end, and it has to be strong enough to get through this center. So you're going to be making, I always like to double check and make sure that everything is folding good. Okay, then you're going to make 3 holes. Now there is a lot of stitches out there to bookbinding. This is the easiest bookbinding in the world. This is called a pamphlet stitch, and it's so easy, and this is what I've been using. I used to use a little bit more complicated ones, but I realized when I'm just doing something quick and easy like this, it doesn't need to be hard. So you're going to take and you're going to go in the center here. That's what I like to start. So I eyeball it. I do not measure anything. So the center from this first page, right? So this is a little bit smaller page than the rest of your book, and that's okay. There's the center, and you're going to poke that hole through. Okay. I like to make sure there's a nice big hole there. So you see you've got a hole. I'm going to go up about halfway between the top of this and here. So I'm going to go up. I'm going to eyeball it. There we go. I'm going to make another hole. Okay. Nice big hole. Okay, now we have that. Again, we're going to go in the middle. So here's the end. Here's this. We're going to go in the center and about right there. I eyeball it, guys. I don't do any measuring. This is a junk journal. This is for fun. So you can see where those binder clips come in handy. I don't have to worry about the pages moving. So I've got 1, 2, 3 holes. He's kind of hidden there by that guy. And so there we go. We have 3 holes. Now, you're going to need this. Regular sewing thread is not going to work, guys, for this. It's not going to hold your book. I mean, you know, you could use it, but it's not going to hold your book. And you're going to be flipping through this book. You're going to be working on it, you know, maybe for months at a time. And you're going to want something stronger. So this is thread that comes with that bookbinding kit. You can buy it separately too. But again, that bookbinding kit is great. It's nice and thick, it's waxy, and it's going to hold this binding together. In that kit, if you choose to get it, there's all kinds of different colors. There's a rainbow color, blue, like a navy blue, there's black, I think there's white, there's another kind of a brown, and there's this one. I'm just going to use this one today. And I like, okay, there's a lot of people do it a different ways, but I like to do this, kind of just measure that, and then I like to kind of go one more time. Okay, so one more time. It doesn't have to be super long, but I like to make sure I have enough, and then I'm going to clip it. So 1, and then 1 again, a little over 1 again. This is going to be a lot. I'm going to have extra, but I'm okay with that just in case. Then you're just going to take that needle that I keep in my handy dandy fun little cupcake that my mom made me years ago, my mom and daughter. And then I'm just going to thread this needle, and I'm going to show you how to stitch this together. All right, friends, there is no need to make a knot or anything like that at the end. In fact, you don't want to. Now, you can either start inside your book or on the outside of your book. It just depends on where you'd like to end up making a knot. And let me show you what can happen. So on this junk journal, I went ahead and started on, let's go to the center here. I went on the inside. So I started on the inside, and then it's hard to see because I've gessoed over it, but you can kind of see this little thread here. That's the knot that I made. This gesso is kind of stuck my pages together. But so the knot's on the inside of this book. However, there is something fun that you can do, and I did it with my Megan Quislin inspired journal, and you can start on the outside, and then you can add charms and really fun things like that to your book. This is a lot of fun to do, you know, if you are making a fancy little journal like I did here. But it really doesn't matter. Maybe just for this time, you can just, you know, go ahead and start on the inside. But that's just the difference. So, and you don't even have to add the charms. You could still just have the knot on the outside. But I think just what I'm going to do today is show you how I started from the inside. So you're going to go through that middle hole, okay? And these clips are going to help you do that. So you're just going to go through that middle hole, okay? And then I want you to leave a nice long tail because you have plenty of, you should have plenty of thread. So you're just going to leave this little tail right there, okay? Then you're going to come through this, you can go through the top or the bottom. I always go through the top. And you're going to just go through that top. You're going to come through. You don't have to make sure it's tight yet because you're going to be able to kind of tighten everything. See that little stitch that you made there. So I came out through this top hole. Then I'm going to go to that third hole that I had created. And since that's black, it's a little hard to see. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get through the hole, but oh, I did it. Sometimes it can be difficult. All right, so you see how I have that, right? See how I have that? Now this is kind of, it's kind of coming up. You definitely want to have that tighter. So all you have to do is pull this thread a little bit tighter. Now you want to come through the center hole again. And this is on the left side of my book. Ideally, I want to come out on the right side of my book. If you don't, it's okay. So you're going to go through that center hole again. Okay. Again, it can be a little tricky. This can get a little tricky. There we go. Got it. Came on that other side. Actually, I came on the, you have to, so I came out on the other side, but I kind of want to do it like that. There we go. You're going to have to pull it because you want that tight. Then you're going to pull it through. Okay. There we go. Now, all you got to do is you're going to take, you can now take your needle out, put it in your little pin cushion, and see how we have that, okay? And then we're just going to make sure it's tight on the back side, and it is. We're just going to tie a knot. That's how simple it is, friends, that pamphlet stitch. Now, if you want to make a 5-hole pamphlet stitch, you can, but for what I do, a 3-hole is perfect. You can get really creative with bookbinding though, and that's something I'd like to do this year. I like to make a pretty big knot too, friends. I just want to make sure it stays. All right. And then I'm going to cut it down so there's not a whole lot. And I'll leave it like that. So there we go. Awesome. So we have our little book. So now we just go through and we have a book, friends. You have created a book. And what I'll do with a lot of these pages, that's going to be a whole nother video I do, but I'll gesso a lot of these. I'll just put maybe some collage paper on these. I'm going to do all kinds of different things. Look how cool that looks, having that doily in there. Just so fun. So fun. I'm so excited. I've got a new junk journal now to have a lot of fun with. That's how easy it is. Super easy. Oh, I kind of did something here. Oh, interesting. So this is funny. So this paper here, friends, I put it in the wrong way. But that's okay. So it's like it's folded over this way. But maybe I can do something interesting with that. I don't know. If anything, I just have a double paper. I can always maybe put some trim on that and staple it or something. So, but there you go. We have a junk journal. Super easy, super fun, ready to add all of our cool things to. I really like the cover of it. So easy. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure and stop by my Facebook community, Sacred Feathers Soul Journaling. I would love it if you would subscribe. There's going to be a new video every Friday. Be sure and look at my past videos. I have a lot of good stuff here, and I will see you soon. Enjoy junk journaling, friends.